This segment brought to you by the Western Kansas Wildlife Travel Center in Oakley.
The dust storm in western Kansas on April 17th left folks recalling the dirty 30s. Part of Kansas was included in the Great Dust Bowl, as our topsoil was blown clear to the eastern United States and even dumped on ships in the Atlantic Ocean. I will admit, with the wind howling at more than 50 miles per hour and gusts possibly hitting 100 miles per hour, the dust was coming in our old farmhouse and filling the window sills. The air was filled with dust and my allergies began acting up. I too thought of the dirty 30s, but I never failed to think of those who were here before that. The Plains tribes, the early European settlers, did they see such storms? According to the May 1946 Kansas Historical Quarterly, they certainly did. Historian James C. Malin shared the journal of Isaac McCoy when he was surveying the Delaware Indian Reservation in 1830. He wrote of the dust storms and cited the intense drought and prairie fires that had destroyed vegetation, leaving the soil exposed and vulnerable to the winds. The Kansas Territory was opened to white settlement in 1854, and the area had already experienced dry years, with the Osage Mission recording only half a crop in 1850 and low rainfall recorded in subsequent years. A resident of Manhattan wrote in May 1854 that a fairer, more genial climate we think cannot be found on earth, though early in the spring, we are told, high winds and clouds of dust were a great annoyance. Another Kansan wrote in 1855, the strong south winds that we experience here are our greatest annoyance. They frequently last for several days and are loaded with the black dust from the burnt prairie, which penetrates every corner of our houses and makes everyone who is exposed to it as sooty as a coal miner. On the night of April 17th, there were fires to the west and south of us, and dust blowing in around the edges of the windows. I said prayers for those dealing with the fires, stranded on the highway, and hurting livestock, as I'm sure women on the prairies have done for many, many years.
Welcome to Western Kansas Wildlife Travel Center, right here in Oakley, Kansas on I-70 at exit 76. I-70, after all, is America's Main Street, and we're right here on Main Street for you. Now that I'm an Oakley resident, I still come in almost every day, and I sit and listen to the conversations of the people around me. You know, the guys who are talking about the big elk they just bagged, or the folks who are taking their kid to college for the first time. People just traveling up and down the highway. Real people, just like you and me. And they find just what I find here, real people to serve them. There's history, there's scenery. We hope you'll stop and see us soon. Welcome to Oakley.